All right, and we're going. Mr. Justin Rivera. Appreciate you coming in, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. Liquid Visions Tattoos, Sunderland. Shop owner, small business owner, tattoo artist.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where your shop's at, how long you've been in business, what you've been doing.
So we opened up in Sunderland, right off Route 2. I don't know if you know where it's at. You've been there a couple times.
Yeah, I'm a repeat customer.
Right. For everybody else, it's cross street from the 7-Eleven, right down by the JT's Kitchen there. We opened up, it'll be 6 years in October 15th. So 2 weeks. Be 6 years, man. It's been a hell of a ride. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. So most small businesses, I think, fail within the first year or so.
That's what everybody says, dude. And I'm like,
yeah. You're still rocking.
You sure ain't gonna be 6 years? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool, dude. Like for me, like I had no knowledge of any kind of business ethic, like at all. Like it was all like
you just like tattooing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, dude, I'm tired of working for somebody. Right. Tired of giving 50% of every tattoo I do to somebody. You know, still got to buy my own shit. You know what I mean? And then at that time, it's like, you know, we just had an idea. We got approved for the spot, and we just, you know, scrounged up every penny we had, dude, and built the place.
That's awesome. So have you been in that location since the start?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep. I tattooed shit for, let's see, I've been doing it for 13 years, so 7 years before. You know, I tattooed for somebody else, like making them big money. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I was just like, man, it's time to do our own thing kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's like any other business, man. Like you just wanted to jump out on your own and had to learn the business side of of everything.
Oh, yeah. Crash course.
Yeah.
Needless to say.
Right.
It was rough.
Made some mistakes along the way.
A lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
You know. But, I mean, that's part of the experience, man. I think a lot of people don't enjoy, you know, the hard times.
Right.
Because when you look back on them now, it's like, you know, if you're not enjoying that, even though that little bit of, like, happiness that's in it, because you're at the point now where you're like, all right, I know what to do and what not to do. If you're not enjoying just that aspect of it, man, you're not doing it for the right reasons, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know?
So tell us a little bit about the startup, man. Like, when you made the jump, like, where you were working, like, how you made that transition. If you are you a sole proprietor, or do you have partners, or how does that work?
So we started off as a partnership, Gavin and I, which was cool, man. I mean, it was whatever. We did the thing, got literally scrounged everything we had, like every dime we had to make it work. We made it work.
What are some of the startup costs with that, though? Like, obviously the shop, but then I guess tattoo guns and ink and insurance. I mean, I just don't know, like, what type of overhead's involved with getting started with that type of shop.
So, believe it or not, it's actually a really cheap business to start up because, like, if you're a tattooer, you already have all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, of course you're going to upgrade just like you do machines every so often.
Right.
But you have all the stuff to perform, you know, the tattoo. What I didn't know you needed was a whole list of other shit because you're in Calvert County. Yeah, any other county in the state, you're fine. You know what I mean? But in Calvert, they're a little more, you know, strict. So, like, you needed you couldn't just be fully disposable. But that ended up changing over the years. But you had to have, like, an autoclave, which a lot of dentists, like, office has that. And, like, they're expensive, man. They're, like, you know, anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, depending on, you know, what kind of machine you're getting, how new it is, you know what I mean? If you're getting an older one, of course it's going to be cheaper.
You got to explain that to me. I don't know what that is.
So an autoclave is a sterilization unit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's a machine that pretty much steams needles, tubes, stuff like that you reuse. Not that you reuse needles, but you could buy needles back in the day, like, not sterilized.
Yeah.
And you can put them in packs and then sterilize them yourself.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, you had to have that equipment. Then when you get to the piercing side.
So you basically have to show that you have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we never used it.
Right.
Because everything was disposable. I mean, it's cheaper. It's just as effective, if not better. Right. You know what I mean? So you had to buy the machine just to get started. So, that kind of pushed you back. Like, we kind of got lucky. We knew a lot of people that had a couple of them laying around, you know what I mean, that were older but in good working order. Let's see. Obviously, all your business shit, right? All your licensing.
Yeah. And then I guess finding a good, like, promotable spot, too. Like,
yeah. I mean, to an extent.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious, man. So I've been a repeat customer for a couple years now.
Yeah.
Right. I know where you're at, and I know you. So I come in there, and it's always by appointment.
Yeah.
When you first started, was it walk-ins and everything, or was it just appointment only, or is that something that you've evolved into?
It's definitely what I evolved into, and that's, dude, I'm so thankful that it's gotten to that point because
you're not doing $120 tattoos, people walking in and saying, "Hey, I want Tweety Bird on my forearm."
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, everything feels rushed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when you get to that aspect, it's like they walk in, you have no idea what you're doing, so you have no idea how to prepare for it. You don't have time to get comfortable with the design. So they come in, let's say they want a skull on their forearm, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, that's pretty basic," but we always wanted to take it to that next level. Like, I just don't want to do a generic skull that 50 million other people have. I want to do something that's, your own.
Yeah.
And, eventually, slowly, that evolved into, what we are now. Like, of course we did walk-ins.
Yeah.
Of course there were some late nights and some early mornings, but we had a following beforehand, so that helped us a lot. I mean, doing it, 7-8 years before opening a shop, like, a lot of people from the county knew that we tattooed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And knew that I tattooed. And
I feel like Calvert, too, is like a small community.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it definitely, when we were in school, it definitely was. And I would assume, it's growing, but it's not that much different now.
No.
Like, you got groups of friends, and they all have friends, and I feel like you can get, like that small community vibe, and people just word of mouth know where you're at and what kind of work you do.
Dude, that's always the best, word of mouth. Because everybody's kind of linked in some way or the other, right? You know what I mean? But, that's the good thing about this community is that, dude, you're not spending, being a business owner, you're not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially, at least not locally. For me, it's a little different because, I got clients that do fly in to get tattooed, you know what I mean, from different states, across the country, whatever.
That's cool.
So which is cool, but
I would assume, like, social media is probably huge.
Yeah. Yeah. For outside the area, social media is everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, actually today I had a guy drive in from Frederick to get tattooed. And I'm like, dude, you pass, like, 5-6 different, badass shops on your way here. He's like, man, I just like what you do, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. Like
that's very cool.
That's what makes me feel good about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more than just a job at that point. So it's cool. It's more of like a personal thing.
Yeah, for sure. And then your shop. So, like, I know it's you and Gavin in there.
Yep.
And then I've seen other artists in there tattooing.
Yeah, I got 2 other guys there.
2 other guys.
Yep. One's Adam Harrison. Dude's freaking gnarly with new school, man. Like, if you're into that new school style, like, he fucking kills it.
Yeah.
He's gnarly. And then I got Carson, man. Carson's actually been tattooing longer than, I think everybody at the shop. He's kind of bounced around.
Right.
He had his own shop in St. Leonard for a while. He's an EMT medic for PG Fire. So he's, like, in and out of the shop a lot.
Yeah.
But the dude, super clean work. He's a graffiti guy. Like,
yeah.
His lettering, his graffiti is nuts.
Cool. So, like, I guess as a shop, do you guys try to get different artists that are strong in different aspects of everything?
Yeah, for sure.
That way you kind of have everything covered, like all the different styles, I guess.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's, like, my biggest thing is that I've always said to people and everybody else, right, that I always wanted a shop that you could walk into and you can sit in any chair and get a badass tattoo. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I don't want to be, you're running the mill generic shop. You walk into, they got 10 artists there. You're not really sure who you're going to get. You're not really sure what kind of quality of tattoo you're going to get. Yeah. Is it somebody that's been doing it for a while or somebody that's, literally just learned how to do it? in the last year or two. Like, I didn't want that, man. It was about the quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never wanted to be that run-of-the-mill, you know, McDonald's of tattooing for
for sure, man. I feel like that's a business decision too. Like, because it's very easy to get caught up in just you know, rolling with the punches and just doing it, just making any dollar that walks through the door. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So you got to make it a conscious effort to be like, no, this is the direction we're going. This is where we want to go.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's a huge commitment because, you know, I don't want to say it like that. Like, anybody can do it, right? But if you got a little bit of money to start a shop and you can literally just pull any Tom, Dick, or Harry off the street that can hold a tattoo machine, you can make money doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for me, it was like, dude, like, I just want to be different. Like, I want to be able to look back at it and be like, you know, I took a different approach.
Yeah.
That's not very common. You know what I mean? Not many shops around here are fully custom like that.
Yeah, and still be successful doing it your way.
Yeah. And you know, and success, in my opinion, is what you label it as, right? You know what I mean? Some people put it as a dollar amount. You know, some people put it as a point in their life, right? You know what I mean? It's all about your own idea, dude. And, I mean, we're getting there. Like, some people will say, yeah, like, they're successful. I mean, yeah, yes and no in some aspects of it, man. But realistically, dude, like, it's a mindset thing, man. Like, every day, you just want to get better and better and better, and until you're done. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So it sounds like you have a pretty good group of guys that are working together. Was that hard to find?
Oh, dude.
Have you had?
Dude.
And this goes to the stereotype thing, but I would assume tattoo artists are probably pretty hard to get to come to work on time and shit every day. They kind of live a lifestyle that, or at least from an outsider looking in, it's like, look, that's a type of career path that people are like, yeah, I just want to do that because I can just work a couple hours a day or whatever.
And that's the thing, man. I mean, to be honest, like, yes and no. Like, when I first started tattooing, it was very rock starish, right? You're up all night. You sleep half the day. You know what I mean? In that area, everybody knows who you are. You know what I mean? Right. Knows what you do. Knows, you know, they want to come in and get tattooed. And, you know, everybody, of course, acts like your friend because they want to get a discount or a deal or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But till I had my first kid, believe it or not, like, that's when I started, like, turning it around and really approaching it as, you know, a business, as, like, a career, as let's be serious about it. Like, let me invest into my art. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, it's hard, dude, getting, like, guys that you vibe with first, because, I mean, there's so many egos in one room.
Plus you guys are all in the same shop together all day, every day.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's like, you know, one thing I tell, you know, anybody, like, if I'm looking at hiring them or bringing them on, it's like, dude, we don't compete with each other.
Right.
Like, that's one thing, like, I don't do. Like, we don't compete with each other. Like,
yeah,
I'll push you.
Yeah, you guys are on the same team.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, look,
exactly.
Yeah, we all just need to do well so people keep coming through the door.
That's it. That's right. It. As long as your email is coming through or your phone calls or text message, however you want to set it up, as long as them things keep rocking, you know, and people keep coming and return customers because of the experience as well as the quality, you know what I mean? Those are two things for me. Like, right. I want a client, like, not everybody's going to have a good time, right? Because it's painful. They might be having a bad day. You know what I mean? We kind of turn into, like, a therapist at the same time. But
oh, yeah, man. I would say you're up close and personable with the person you're tattooing. And, like, you're almost so close, like, you almost have to talk.
Yeah.
It's almost like the dentist. It's like, look, the dentist probably knows he shouldn't be talking to you because you can't talk back, but the son of a bitch is right in your face, so he's probably like, man, I got to say something.
Right, you know? You make eye contact. Sometimes it's like, all right, I'm going to kind of look away a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, but, like, with guys, you know, like you and women like you know what I mean, that come in all the time, you know, you build that relationship with them. Like, you know, shit, I need a tree cut down. Like, Gene, take care of them.
Oh, we've had a great mutual relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like, we've bartered.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, that's the way it works.
That's what makes the world go round, man.
Right, yeah.
Like, I tell people all the time, like, I don't need your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to do something for me that I can, in return, do something for you to help both of us get ahead, then, hey, man, I'll do it all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't need anything else.
Yeah, man. And that's what gives it, like, the small town feel. And honestly, I think people like that, like the real personable type shop. Like they feel like they can get a hold of you. They can ask you questions like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, I mean, I'll be honest. If I had like some dumbass tattoo idea, I think you would be like, nah, Gene, let's do it this way. Yeah. No, I got a better idea.
and that's
which that goes a long way.
Oh, man, it definitely does. And the problem too is it's a fine line, right? Because some people are like, man, fuck this guy. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I thought my idea is great, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it can be in your head, but can it translate to a tattoo? You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. And it's like, I'm not going to give you something that I know you're going to hate. Even though it sounds good and it looks good in your head, you're going to hate it when I'm done with it. And it's like, if I can't put that signature series mark on it, dude, then I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I don't blame you, dude, because that's some responsibility, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're putting shit on people's bodies for the rest of their lives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like I tell people all the time, it's the only thing you buy lasts forever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's it. You can get lasers and shit,
right.
But I mean, that's some money there, Jack. And
yeah, man. No, it's I mean, I've thought about it before. It's like, man, it's probably not to you, but as an outsider looking at it, it's almost like a high stress job because there's no taking the shit back.
Oh yeah.
Like you have to be on your A game every morning. You show up to do a tattoo.
Oh yeah. And I mean, to be honest, man, like,
and it's impossible. There's no way you're doing your A game 24/7 when you're in it. You can't. I mean, that's just not normal.
Yeah, you can't.
You're going to have bad days.
And there's days where you just gotta be responsible enough to be like, look, man, like, let's reschedule.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I know it sucks. You waited, a month or two to get in. You put a deposit down.
Yep.
But they don't understand or see what goes on behind the scenes either. It's not like, working at McDonald's, right? Like, you're not on your A game, you can kind of breeze through it and still make a pretty decent burger.
Right.
But
it's permanent. All your shit's custom.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's kind of like tree work, man. Like, so what we do, every tree's different.
Yeah.
Some trees are just big and, heavy. Some trees are dead and rotted out.
Or grown in weird, fucked up spots.
Yeah, or leaning over a house, or the septic's right underneath the tree, or whatever, But every situation is different. So you got to have skilled enough people to go out there and be like, look, this is what we need to do this job. And you got to have people that are responsible enough to say, if I don't have the right tools to do this job, then we ain't doing it today.
Yeah.
Like that's
somebody can get hurt.
Right.
Or you can, fuck up a lot of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Expensive shit.
Yeah, a lot of expensive shit, and then you don't make any money.
You're paying them.
Right.
At that point.
So, yeah, man, I it's very similar. I mean,
yeah.
Every day's different. I feel like you do custom work every day.
Yeah, dude, that's what I try to gear towards. And I think that's what keeps my, like, mental space, clear.
Right.
It's that I'm able to do a custom tattoo every day. I don't have to go in and be guessing on what I'm going to do. Am I going to do something that, it's not that anybody's tattoo's dumb. It's just that it might not interest me, you know what I mean, to do that tattoo.
Right.
Like to make it, to make it, badass. Like, if it's something like real generic, right? Like, you kind of get almost like a machine. Like, it's just repetitive over and over and over and over. And stuff like that, man, I mean, really kills your mental vibe, what I mean? And your creativity.
Well, I'm sure you kind of just zone out. And
oh, yeah, you're just going through emotions at that point. It's just, it's second nature, really. You know what I mean? Like, doing something like tribal, right? Like, tribal is a very clean tattoo, very basic, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like fundamentals, right? Line work, saturation. It's like,
right.
You've done it so long that how to do it with your eyes closed. And you get bored with it. I'm not going to lie to you. You know? You get to the point where it's like.
So you're saying you, as like an artist, you prefer like the more difficult custom pieces?
Yeah, oh yeah. Because it's
lets you get creative.
It's the challenge, man. It's the challenge. It's like, you come to me with an idea, right? And, when you email me, it says in the email, like auto-generated email, like, everything's custom, everything's one-off. You get, his idea, of the tattoo. Not saying that you have to get it or not, but that's what you're coming here for.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, dude, to be honest with you, man, I haven't had one client. I'm going to knock on wood now. But I haven't had one client hate any of the designs I've come up with. You know what I mean? Like, I take their idea, I put my design to it, you know what I mean? And they turn out, they love it, man. And it's like that challenge alone. It's like, you know, the night before, it's kind of like that Christmas morning, right? Like, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know the reaction you're going to get. You spent, 10 to 15 hours on a drawing that you put everything you had into, and you show it to the client the next day.
Right.
And you're like, are they going to like it?
Yeah. You might say, start over.
Yeah. It's like, all right, man, well, I had 15 hours in this thing.
Right. No, that's really cool, man. I mean, I think it's that's got to be rewarding.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the best part.
I do think, though, you have to have that creative personality to do that, though. Like, not everybody can do that. Like, me, I'm not a creative person. Like, I'm very...
I think you are in your own way, though.
Yeah.
Everybody is in their own way. You know what I mean? Art is just a...
But I'm smart enough to know that I'm not, like, in the sense of tattoos. That's why I came to you, and I was like, look, man, this is kind of what I want.
Yeah.
Patriotic, religious sleeve type deal.
Yeah. Put it together.
Put it together. Do your thing, buddy.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing, too, is, like, when people come with a direction, it really gives me the chance to be like, okay, well, I don't understand what you want, but you understand what you want. But it gives me the chance to really, like, bring that to life, because I'm constantly like, okay, send me some reference photos, right, of what style you like. Mm-hmm. Send me any kind of idea, like, throughout the whole process. And, like, I'm sitting there, I'm drawing, and you're sending me ideas, and I'm like, okay, so I'm on the right path here. You know what I mean? Which is cool, but when you get that artistic freedom, man, it can be a curse and a blessing for sure. Because I've seen some guys, like, artist-wise, get a really cool client. They're just like, look, this is what I want to do your thing with it, and they just, like, I don't even know what they were thinking.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, damn, dude, like, you had a cool idea.
You did too much.
Yeah. It's like the whole saying, right? Like, 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag.
Right.
Like, it just don't work that way. You know what I mean? But, people, man, that's the kicker about it. It's like, on the tattoo side, as an artist, you have to really, put a lot of thought into something like a sleeve. Because it's got to flow. It's got to go well together. There's a couple different ideas kind of in it. You know what I mean? Instead, people just, man, they're like, all right, I'm going to slap this on you, slap this on you, slap this on you, slap this on you, and do one background. It's like, it's kind of half-assed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we run into that a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you probably get asked to fix a lot of shit like that.
Yeah. And some things, man, for the most part, dude, like, some things I will, most of the time I'll mess with it. You know what I mean? Depends on a couple of things. One, who does it. You know what I mean? Two, what their end picture is. You know what I mean? Their end idea. I always tell them, look, man, I can't turn a Honda into a Cadillac, but I can make it look like a nice Honda.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
good way of putting it.
Yeah, and that's realistic. Like, some clients I have that it's so botched or it's so dark or scarred. I'm like, dude, you got to get laser surgery. Like, you got to get a couple laser sessions before I can even really attempt to cover it. Like, I had a guy come in not long ago, dude. He had a couple lettering, old English letters, old 90s tattoo.
Yeah, can't even read it.
Nah, it's all botched. It's, it's cut up. It's scarred pretty good. Really dark, and he wanted to do, like, almost like portrait style work. You know what I mean? I do a lot of, like, women's faces, stuff like that. Like, he wanted to do a Valkyrie, and I'm like, dude, gnarly. Love doing it. That's, like, my thing. Black and gray. Let's make it cool. But you need to get some laser surgeries. And I sent him to a guy over in Waldorf, and he's gotten 2 sessions done, dude, and it's amazing what that shit does. Like, really? It's crazy. Like,
really takes the ink out of the skin. Like, just
so a lot of people don't realize or know, like, what it actually does. So it doesn't technically take it out of your skin. What it does is it breaks it up into really fine, like, pieces, pretty much, and then your body will dispose of it. So
it breaks it up so that you can get rid of it yourself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it goes through your whole system and stuff, right? But you gotta be careful, because if you do it too much, it can fuck your system up. Yeah. But you gotta, space them out right, and really take care of them. That's the hard part about it. It's taking care of it.
Right. I think that's with any tattoo, man. Like, I know when I was just going once a month and doing the whole sleeve thing with you, man, I would come home and, like, I'd be lathered in that aquifer, and I'd have, like, I'd be sleeping, and I'd wake up, and my shit be sticking to the sheets. And like, I'd have, like, ink all over the sheets. Yeah. I'm like, damn. And then it would start scabbing up, peeling off in the shower.
Oh, yeah. And I tell people all the time, man, it's like, I can't go home and take care of it for you. Right. You know what I mean? I can't go home with you.
Yep.
So just kind of stay on it as best you can. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, when you're sleeping, when you're working, it's hard. But you stay on it, man, for the most part, it's in there. It ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So, like, back to the business aspect of what you do. How much, like, I hate to say, like, micromanaging do you do, like, with your guys? But, like, do you have any type of protocol where, like, you kind of give a green light on what they're tattooing or what they're charging or anything like that? Or is it just strictly they act as kind of like an independent contractor type deal?
That's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, you know, for me, like, working for other people, I couldn't make a living, man, giving somebody a percentage every day. Right. You know what I mean? If I did, you know, $200-$300 tattoos, I'm only walking away with $300 every day. You know what I mean? Instead of $600. So, like, for me, it was like, I don't want that for these guys. You know what I mean? Like, they should be able to make a living too. You know? Yeah. And for me, it's like they dictate their schedule, they dictate their hours, they dictate their what they charge. You know what I mean? I set a minimum.
Yeah. So I would assume, like, if you have a certain number of people in the shop, everybody's got to pull their own weight, right? Like, so, like, there's got to be some sort of, like, goal or quota.
Yeah.
It's like, look, so how do you kind of handle that? Like, do you say, hey, man, or, you know, you're not, you know, you're low on numbers this month. What's going on? Like,
yeah, no, you know, I keep it simple, man. Yeah. Like, I pretty much run it almost like a barbershop, right? Like, I charge them a booth rent, like a weekly booth rent. Right. You know what I mean? And
whether they're there or not, that's what they get. That's what they pay.
I set it at a number.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not looking to make money off of them. You know what I mean? Because I have my own schedule. I got my own time. I got my own clients that I make my own money off of. You know what I mean? I don't need these guys' money. Like, I can't stand, and this is just me personally, right? And it's nothing against these guys, but not the guys who work for me, but other shop owners and stuff. I can't stand when somebody stands there, right, and they're in their, you know, Tesla or their big, you know, $700,000-$800,000 house, and they're like, you know, everybody else that works for me bought this. You know, like, to me, it's like, dude, like, that guy that works for you is barely making it. He's got kids he's got to support. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, I've been that guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, on the other hand, like, I don't want that out of life. Like, everything I've ever had, I've earned. You know what I mean? I worked for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I was instilled as a young kid.
Right. You
know, my grandparents and my parents, you know what I mean, kind of passed that down to me. It's like, even now on the other end of things, like, I don't want to be the guy that gets rich or famous or whatever off everybody else's work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So
I just didn't know if that was like an industry standard or how.
So for the most part, no.
No,
like, what I do is totally different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The industry standard for the most part is percentage. And don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, those guys that own them shops, you know, most of them don't tattoo.
Right.
Most of them don't pierce.
They just run the shop.
They just own it.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're like, okay, I got enough startup money. I know a couple tattooers. I'm going to build this, you know, nice, beautiful shop. I'm going to hire anybody I can that can tattoo. They'll put them in there, and then they work off percentage. They don't tattoo. They don't nothing. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. Like, now, you got some owners that tattooed at one time. You know, now they're older and they don't. You know what I mean? Which is cool. I respect that. But at the end of the day, dude, it's like, we're all in here together. Like, that's the biggest thing for me. It's like, I talk about it every day with my clients. I talk about it with my buddies, right? We're sitting here bullshitting. Regardless of anything else, we're in this shit together. You know what I mean? And if you're struggling to pay me and you can't afford to live your life, you know what I mean? To take care of your kids, to build a reputable clientele and run realistically your own business out of my business, you know what I mean?
Right.
Then I'm not helping you.
Exactly. You know what I mean, that's how you explain it to me. That's how it sounds. Like, they're kind of a independent contractor that just kind of partners with you. They just need the shop space, and
Exactly.
Like a clean place to work that people are comfortable in.
Yeah, man.
And then
100%. Like I'm not into that like whole, you know, you work for me kind of thing.
Right.
That's just not how I am. That's not the type of guy I am. Right. Like you work for yourself, dude. Like you do your thing.
Make as much money as you want to.
You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, like, you know, I have to oversee quality of things. Like if somebody does a fucked up tattoo, dude, then
because that's what I'm saying. Like, so some of that comes back on your company name. It's like, look, I went there and I got like a fucked up tattoo. Like that's not good.
Right. And like don't get me wrong. Like I had to start somewhere too, right? I didn't always do good tattoos. You know what I mean? I did some shitty tattoos for a long time to get to where I'm at now, and that's, you know, everybody's story as a tattooer. But that's why, and it's nothing against them because they got to start somewhere too. But I don't take on apprentices. Like it's not something for me. You know what I mean? Like I don't have the time to invest in somebody.
Right.
And you know, obviously, it's a fine line you walk. You know what I mean? An apprentice is going to fuck up a tattoo. They're going to fuck it up. It just is what it is. Like for me, it's like I want, you know, seasoned vets in there, like guys that have been tattooing a while. They do what they love to do. They're not forcing a tattoo. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Personally, with my business, I've done it both ways. I've hired seasoned guys that know what they're doing, and I've hired younger guys that are just laborers, and they've learned how to do the more skilled trades, right? Like the more skilled stuff that we do. So, and then they kind of have like a little bit of loyalty to you because they're like, yeah, you know, he invested the time and the money in me to let me learn how to do this, and I've made more money, and my career is kind of progressing. So you know what I'm saying? So you kind of have that relationship. I gave him a shot. You know, it's like, look, you started off making $13 an hour, and now you're making what you're making, and like you're better off for it. I'm better off for it. It's a good working relationship. You know? So I mean, but you're right though. You do have to have like those solid guys that they can go in there and just start doing their own thing. You don't have to teach them anything. You know. And
that's my thing. Like, dude, I poured so much into that name, into Liquid Vision's tattoo. You know what I mean? Like, I poured so much into that. Like, literally, like everything I ever had just to get it started. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, like, over the years, just kept building the brand.
Yeah. No, so, like, that's exactly right. So, the branding, right? So, you have that Liquid Vision's brand.
Yeah.
So, when you bring in a tattooer, like an independent guy who's renting a booth, well, he's got to understand that he's representing your brand at that point because he's in your shop.
Yeah.
So, that's I can see how that would kind of be like a fine line to walk.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's that gray area, kind of like we talked about earlier, right? Like, it's that gray area, that fine line. Like, you're trying to, you know, keep this going, give this guy a shot. You know what I mean? And I had a guy in there not long ago, and it just didn't work out, right? Like, his lifestyle just really conflicted with what we do. You know what I mean? Like, we're really laid back. We're family-oriented. Everybody in there's got a family. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not into the whole, like, party scene anymore. I'm 32, dude. Like, I'm not 22 anymore.
I'm 32 myself, buddy.
I'm
well aware.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to drink about 5 beers here and then go eat dinner and go to bed.
Yeah, that is the party. Right. You know what I mean? That is what we look forward to. But, you know, it's a younger guy, and his vibe, man, I mean, he had potential to be a really good tattooer. Like, he did, you know, nice tattoos, but he had potential to be a really good tattooer. And I'm cool with that, like picking guys up like that, because like I see the potential in them. Right. You know, the rest of the guys there see the potential in them, and everybody works as a team, right? So like, if this guy sees you doing something, it's like, hey man, like try this. It's gonna bump it up or whatever, right? And just push it to that next level.
Yeah.
You know, nobody in the shop has a problem with that, and if they did have a problem with it, they wouldn't work there. Right. You know what I mean? Like that's our biggest thing.
Yeah, I feel like your industry's got to be constructive criticism a lot. Trying to help each other out.
Oh yeah.
You know, you almost have to because it's very permanent work that you're doing. Like
Oh yeah. Right. Oh yeah. And it's like, you know, if you don't do that, then you ain't gonna have work to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you could sit at that shop for 2 months straight and not tattoo.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it comes down to, you know, quality, you know, work ethic, you know, drive, like customer service, you know.
Yeah, man.
The rest of it's kind of relatable.
I think this is kind of like a cool gateway into asking the question about like the stereotype of like a tattoo shop and the guys that work there and the scumbags that
Oh yeah.
Tattoo people and are covered in tattoos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not like that, man.
No,
like,
I mean it.
You guys are.
It is and it isn't. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna bullshit you. You know what I mean? Just like anything else, you got like contractors, right? That are good, honest, hardworking people.
Right.
And you got shitheads, and it's the same thing. But like when somebody says tattoo, they think of a guy that's got jet black dyed hair and these big platform boots and these really tight black jeans and these piercings all over them, tattoos all over them, and in a sense, there are people like that in the industry, and that's what the industry was built on. But it's not. It's really not like that. You know what I mean? Like there's some really good people out there.
Oh, for sure.
That tattoo for a living. We just do art. You know what I mean? Like I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah.
I'm not anybody special. I ain't trying to look special. You know what I mean? I just draw on people, essentially. you know, for a living.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like.
And what's like you do it for a living, but you see like your customers are just normal people in the community.
Oh, 100%.
Everybody from all walks of life come there to get tattooed.
Oh, dude, I've tattooed criminals. I've tattooed cops. You know, from one extreme to the other. And
that's a good way of putting it, right there.
Exactly. And I tell people all the time, it's like, dude, everybody can relate when it comes to a tattoo nowadays, right? Because when I first started tattooing, it wasn't like it is now.
Oh man, yeah, it's definitely a generational thing. I feel like our generation's very open to it, but we might be the first generation like that.
I think so. Yeah.
So we're in our 30s, but yeah, I would say people in their 40s and 50s are probably a little more reserved with the tattoo shit.
Oh,
but neither one of us are like the suit and tie professional type people.
Nah, man.
But I feel like even that class of people,
tattoos.
Like,
dude, I've tattooed so many doctors, nurses, teachers.
Right.
Yeah, they got to wear long sleeves to work every day. You know what
right.
I mean? It's 100 degrees outside. They're in a button-up. You know what I mean? It might suck a little bit, but, I mean, dude, I've tattooed, like, you wouldn't believe the people's profession. You know what I mean? Because it's something that's relatable, man. And no matter if you're a, brain surgeon or a guy that's just a regular blue-collar guy. You know
that's cool, man. So just a couple of fun questions. What's the craziest profession of one of your customers? Like, I guess, like on the high end. So doctors and lawyers and shit like that.
For sure. Like brain surgeon, man.
Brain surgeon.
Tattooed brain surgeon, dude. Like
brain surgeon comes in after work. Hey, man, I need a tattoo.
kind of like that. I mean, you set an appointment on. You know? Don't get these guys any ideas. They'll be like, oh, man, hey, you can do it after I get off. Nah. But, he set up an appointment, man, and he's a brain surgeon, dude. And it's like, and I had no idea. Like, the guy wasn't like super formal. You know what I mean? He was just had a regular conversation with me. He sent me an email. He wanted to get tattooed, and I'm like, all right, cool, man. Like, his idea was cool. He let me do my thing with it, and he comes in. I show him the design. He's like, man, that's awesome, dude. Like, it looks awesome. I want to get it. I'm ready to do it. We sit down. We get tattooing, and I don't know, about an hour or two in, he's like, yeah, man, this is a really cool job, dude. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, what do you do for a living, man? And he's like, oh, man, I don't want to tell you, man. I'm like, why? Like, why don't you want to tell me what you do, dude? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm a brain surgeon, dude. I'm like, what? Like, you're just in here? And, like, I didn't see it at all in him. Like, not the way he walked or anything like that, right? And that's me kind of being stereotypical, right? Like, these guys are really smart. They're really formal. They're very, like, I'm this, I'm that kind of thing. But the guy was just, like, really chill. And then he's, like, showing me all his, like, fucking shit. And I'm like, dude, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
like,
what did you do today? Yeah. I cut open a dude's brain, fixed it.
Yeah, set it up, sent him home. Like,
man.
It was cool, dude. But, like, and that's why it came to my mind. It's like that just, like, stuck out to me. Like, literally anybody nowadays get tattoos.
So would you say the majority of your customers, are they like the working professional type people, or are they more like the scumbags that walk in off the street and you got to, like, nickel and dime them on? I feel like you kind of set yourself up, though, to where you're not dealing with people like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got the more high-end clientele that's like, look, I want to talk about this and schedule this and, like, really set this up for success. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So, like,
but I feel like a lot of other tattoo shops that do the walk-ins, they might have a whole different type of clientele.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People walk in, they're like, hey, man, I got $200. What can you do?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, so for me, like, when I really sat down and, like, decide to go in this direction, like, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what can I do to kind of avoid those type people. And I was like, the process. It's the process to make it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? If you got an email, then you got to send a deposit. That means you're serious about it. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you're coming to get something cool. Or not necessarily cool, but you're coming to get a piece of art. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That you've already put thought into.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what you want.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt.
You're willing to pay for it.
Yeah, you're willing to pay for it.
Right.
You're coming to me for what I do. You know what I mean? You're going through this process. It's not going to be the guy that's like, hey, man, I got $50. What can I get? Yeah. Like, because I've dealt with them guys a lot of my career.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. And I'll tell you, as a customer of yours, what sticks out to me is you do the tattoo sessions during normal working hours.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Right? So it's like, and I respect that. It's like, look, man, if you're serious about this and you want this done and you're willing to pay money for it, then you need to be willing to take time out of your fucking day to come get it done.
Yeah. And I tell people this all the time.
It's like, look, don't expect me to work till midnight.
Exactly.
Like, if you really want this, you'll be here at 10 a.m.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, at 10 a.m., is not, I mean, it's early, but it's not that early. You know what I mean? Most people up 5, 6, 4, something in the morning. You know what I mean? But for me, it's like, I tell people this all the time. It's like, dude, I got family at home. Just like everybody else. Like, you know, I like to be at home and have dinner with my wife and kids. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't? You know, I don't want to be here till, 1, 2 in the morning. You know, and I'm not going to gear it that way. If you want to get tattooed, I mean, that's the seriousness of it. Like,
sure.
If you want to get tattooed, these are the hours that I offer. And dude, I've never had anybody complain about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I had one person, like a couple people, like, oh, well, I can't take off, or I can't this and I can't that. And it's like, look, man, this is what I got. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing against you or your tattoo, but dude, I like to be home in the evening with my kids.
So,
and my wife. You know,
look, dude, the first couple years in business, like, I would go do all the estimates, right?
Oh yeah.
And people be like, well, I get home at 5:30. I get home at 7. Well, can you come on Saturday or Sunday?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, look, man, like, if you're, and I did it for a long time because I thought I had to. Yeah. Right? And I did at that point in my, career. I had to do that.
You didn't know anything better.
I didn't know anything better. I was like, yeah, I'll be there. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's like, look, man, if you're serious about doing this job, well, you're going to meet me like at normal times. Yeah. You know, it's like
8 a.m.
You'll Monday. Take the time out of your work day to meet me to go over this project.
Yeah.
Because you're serious about getting it done.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to take 2 hours off of work, then why should I take 2 hours out of my day to come talk to you about it?
Well, that's the thing. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
You find most of the bullshitters then and there.
Right there.
If they're not serious about it, then there it is. Because nothing burns me up more than wasting a weekend or a weeknight on somebody that ain't serious about it.
Oh yeah,
you
know
dude, what I
mean? I can't tell you how many times I would tell Carly, I got a 6:30 meeting tonight. I'll be home late.
Yeah.
And then you go there and you talk to somebody for 30 minutes and it doesn't turn to anything. And they weren't even like a $3,000 job. They would think they're gonna get it done for $400.
Yeah.
I'm like, just wasting my night.
Yeah. They take advantage of that free estimate.
Right. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
the estimate's free. My time ain't, dude. Like,
exactly right, man. But so I do respect that, man. I think that's a good structure on how you do everything.
Yeah, man. I had to change it. You know what I mean? Because like, I didn't know anything other than working nights. Right. Working late. Yeah. Sleeping half the day. Literally missing everything that, most people get to experience with their kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And their wife and their family, right? But, my wife works a regular job.
Yep.
I don't, you know what I mean? Per se, it's not a regular job, but it's like, dude, like, if I set these guidelines, it's going to cut the bullshitters out, and it's going to be, what I want to do, and that's deal with serious people about their art, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
No, man, I respect that 100%, and I think it helps you grow in the direction that you want to.
Oh yeah,
because it gives you the clientele that you want, and it weeds out those people that are just wasting your time with everything, man. So I think that was a good route to go.
I mean, you'd be surprised how many people work weird hours.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
cops,
you never
firefighters, all that shit. Yeah,
you think most people are like 9 to 5, right? 9 to 5, dude. Most of my clientele work weird hours. So my schedule, after changing my schedule to that time frame, worked really well for them.
Right.
And it was just like, dude, that's even better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, man, I can't. So I've been pushing snow for the county for the last 4 or 5 years. And the first couple of years, my brother came with me, and he was just riding the truck. He just wanted to kind of see what was going on or whatever. And we pulled up to like the Salt Dome and shit, and it was like 2 a.m. and it was snowing its ass off. And we look around, it was like, I mean, dude, every tractor and every pickup truck that was out there getting loaded with salt and getting ready to go push these roads. My brother's like, damn, dude. He said the rednecks done came out to like save the night, like everybody's going to be able to get to work tomorrow because we all came together. But it's those guys that work those crazy hours, the guys that are out there in the middle of the night driving trucks and shit like that, man. So it's
crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, and especially now after, the whole COVID thing, everybody works from home now.
Oh,
nobody works. Nobody goes in.
That's true too, man.
Everybody's home.
Us being so close, we got so many military and like government people around here, dude. They haven't gone to work in like a year and a half.
Dude, you'd be surprised how many clients come in to set their laptop up and put something on like a key to keep refreshing the damn page so it looks like they're working from home. And they're just sitting there getting tattooed. We're hanging out, bullshit, whatever. They're getting paid. They ain't taking any time off. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, that's the risk they take. But
shit, yeah, good for them.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like there's so many people now. You know what I mean? Everybody I talk to, it's like,
in our area for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, we're in that weird area, right, where it's like it's kind of affordable. You know what I mean? It's kind of low on the higher end.
It's expensive as shit around here, dude.
It is, but it ain't like Massachusetts, right?
Right. Oh, like, yeah. I mean, it's not New York City and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It ain't crazy like that. The money's good. I think that's the only really, area in the country that it's different. Like, the money's good here, and the housing's affordable. It's still expensive, you know what I mean? But, like, everybody's like, I'm going to move to Tennessee. I'm going to move to Georgia. It's cheaper. I see it, but ain't no
you ain't going to make no money.
Ain't no money. You know what I mean? You're doing a job up here for $20 an hour. They're paying them same people to do the job, maybe even better than you, I don't know, for $9. I mean, the difference is none at that point, Yeah, their house is $150,000.
Right.
But they're only making $8 an hour.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything's relatable, man.
Yeah. But I will say that's the only thing about the tattoo industry. It's just pretty balanced across the board. Like, I charge $150 an hour. That's my hourly rate. And that's what it is all across the country for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get me wrong. You get some people that charge $100. Some people think that their work's valued at $250, $300 an hour, which I just think that's crazy. You know what I mean? The regular working person can't afford $300 an hour.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just through the roof. But, across the board, so it's about $150 an hour, man. Like, for a good, legitimate tattooer, you know what I mean? A guy that takes the job serious and really, really puts thought and creativity into it.
Well, it might be
charges that.
Yeah, but it might be you go to South Alabama, they might charge $150 an hour, but you got a lot less people that are willing to pay that to come in there and do it.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you wouldn't have as many people walking through the door, I don't think.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like, the area definitely matters. You know, what I mean? A lot of people are like, dude, you're going to open a custom shop in Southern Maryland? That's going to work? I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try like hell.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
that's what I want to do.
It's right. Hey, mind your business, dude.
Right.
But, most shops like that are in the city area, like D.C., Baltimore, you know what I mean? More, traffic, high-flow people that try to turn it into like an elegance, right? The only other shop that I know of that's fully custom, and what I mean by fully custom is no tattoo flash on the wall, nothing like that, like fully custom hand-drawn everything kind of thing, is in Annapolis. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I mean, everybody else is don't get me wrong, they got artists there that are custom artists that, do appointments and they hand-draw everything. I'm not saying that they're not custom artists. What I'm saying is that they're not a custom shop. You know what I mean? Because that's the difference. It's everyone at the shop does custom work.
Yeah, for sure.
As opposed to, you got a walk-in guy or you got whatever,
Yeah, so, I mean, that has to make it harder logistically across the board, though. Not only are you doing custom work, but you're getting custom requests and, like,
You're narrowing your clientele.
100%.
I mean, because everybody, when they're, turn 18, want to get a tattoo.
Right.
Nowadays. All these young kids, they don't care what it is. Go in and give me something off the wall. Just put it on me. I want a tattoo. You know what I mean? It's like that, rebellious kind of feel, like stage in their life. You know what I mean? They're just like, I just want to get a tattoo.
That's a good question, man. So, like, what's your average age that you tattoo?
Now, it's changed so much. Now, I'd say it's probably 25 to 40.
Okay.
roughly in that area.
What's the oldest person you've ever tattooed?
Oh, dude, I tattooed some old people, dude. Like first tattoos,
60s, 70s.
70s, Jack. I did a chick, Snowball. Like this woman came in, man. She was awesome. Loved her to death. She wanted just like some lettering on her wrist, and she was like 72, I want to say. And I was doing this before I worked for myself and all that. And she came in and she was like, they weren't like something to have during my time. They were very,
probably looked down on, to be honest.
Oh yeah, 110%. And she was like kind of like expressed that throughout the whole experience. And I was like, look, man, like, I'm here for it. Like, let's do it. And I did a nice little name on her, and dude, she loved it. Well, then she came back like 2 weeks later and got something else. I can't remember what it was. And then she ended up coming like, I want to say at least once a month for like a year. Just getting little things here and there. Nothing crazy, like not a big sleeve or these big massive pieces. But
that's cool, man.
And it was, man, because it kind of really like opened my eyes up to like the generational thing, kind of like what we talked about earlier, man. And it's like, dude, it was so different for our parents and grandparents coming up than it is now. And then, they kind of say the same thing to us, like how crazy the world is now. And it's like,
some people, I ain't gonna lie, I'm open. I mean, shit, I have tattoos, right? I got like, visible tattoos.
Yeah.
But some people go extreme with the shit.
Oh yeah.
Especially the piercings, man. I don't understand the piercing side of it. Which, do you guys even offer the piercings? Or?
We used to. We don't anymore, dude. We're like the thing with the piercing side, dude, is it's a very hard business to make a living. Like, don't get me wrong. You get like kind of rushes and waves of, a lot of piercings here and there, but they're not very expensive, right? So the profit margin there is kind of cut as opposed to a tattoo or, anything else. Right? The profit margin is cut.
It only takes 5 minutes.
I mean,
how much can you charge?
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you got people, like, can you charge $120 for a tongue piercing? You can charge it. And is a man going to pay for it? No. It took you 5 minutes, dude.
Right.
Like,
I guess there is some risk involved.
Oh, that's what I'm going to say. I guess they should be thankful that their tongue's not falling off. But it is what it is, right? Yeah, so we stopped doing the piercing thing. We had a piercer there, and he decided to, kind of go another route in his life. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever, dude.
Right.
So after that, we're like, you know what? Like, we're strictly tattoos.
Right.
Like, and it's nothing against
So not everybody that tattoos can do piercings. Like that's a specialty thing.
Yeah, no. That's like a myth, right? Like people say, like, oh, if you tattoo, you can pierce. Like, I can pierce. Like, you know what I mean? To an extent. Like, certain things, yes. But not when you get too elaborate and too crazy. And like, I mean, there's some piercings out there that are just absolutely wild, Jack. Like, I mean, I'm talking about, it's not even a piercing at that point. It's an implant. Yeah,
dude, the shit like in people's cheeks and shit now.
Yeah,
like, I've seen
good on it.
It's like, holy shit.
And that's the thing, like, another thing kind of like touching back to the stereotypical thing, like, I had a client the other day come in, they're like, this is what you look like? I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, I'm standing here. Like, what do you mean? Like,
I'm a little heavy right now, but what?
Hey, mind your business, dude. Right. I don't judge you on what you eat. Right. But he was like, oh no, not like that, man. I just thought that like you'd be more tattooed, like, you'd have it all over your face and neck and all this and all that. And I'm like, nah, man. Like, I'm just like, when I'm on the ball field playing softball and people like that don't know me, they're like, yeah, he tattoos or whatever, or he does my tattoos. They're like, what? That guy? I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, am I supposed to look a certain way? Am I supposed to have a certain amount of tattoos?
It's a stereotype, dude. Like, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you guys, like a construction worker, stereotypical, like, dumbass, like, missing teeth, smoke cigarettes, drinks beer. Yeah. But then the tattoo guy, I mean, people expect you guys to look like, freak shows, really. Like circus freaks type deal.
When you
but it's really not like that.
Yeah, no.
At all.
When you think about it, it's kind of the same thing. Like, they expect us to be smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, chewing whatever, but look crazy.
Just look crazy.
You know what I mean? Not just like, it's like, for me, it's like, I'm just a regular dude, man.
Yeah, man.
Like, I like to do regular shit like everybody else. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't have to look a certain way. Like, that's the biggest thing, dude. Like, that's what drives me nuts about it. It's like, oh, you sure you tattoo? Like, Yeah, motherfucker, I've been doing it for 13 years. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Well, look, man, our hour's about up, but I really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, dude. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I think this is a good conversation to kind of just like get it out there that at least your tattoo shop is just normal dudes doing their thing, and you have a solid business plan. It's a solid small business in our community.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think it's just important for people to realize, like, look, dude, you're a normal dude with like a solid business structure, and you're here to stay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Like, it's not a fly-by-night type thing. Like, it's a professional business.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing I try to put out to everybody. It's like, dude, just come on in, check out my guys, see what they offer. You know, because everybody offers something different. Yep. You know what I mean? And just get good tattoos. I don't care where you go. You can go anywhere. Just get a good tattoo.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, invest that time into it. It's permanent, dude.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing. But, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you having me, dude. It's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Maybe we'll do it again.
Maybe.
Part 2.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if we touched on everything, man. That board had a couple things on there.
I mean, what do you want to talk about, buddy? You want to talk about COVID?
I mean, we can talk about COVID, dude. Let's send it.
All right, hold on. So, scratch that. We're not done. Almost. So, COVID.
Yeah.
I think you were one of the businesses or industries that were really affected by the shutdowns.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. Year ago.
Big time, dude. Big time.
So tell us a little bit about that and what happened and what they made you do and just the whole deal. Because I think it was bad. I mean, you were one of the considered the non-essential businesses. So you were forced to shut down for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. So like once it all came out, it was like, you got to shut it down. And I'm like, all right, cool. I don't have a problem with that, but at the same time, I do. Like, you're telling me I can't run my business.
It's your livelihood.
How am I going to feed these kids? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it was like, how long are we looking at? Mm-hmm. And, I mean, nobody could give me an answer, right? I mean, nobody knew. But, it killed us, dude. Like, it got us to the point where we were, like, kind of flashbacks of first starting up the business. You know what I mean? We had worked so hard, built this brand, you know, everything's rolling the way we wanted it to, and then it all just stops.
Right.
You know, and it got to a point where we were like, what are we supposed to do? You know what I mean? You file for these government funding and these grants and all this and all that, and they email you back and they tell you, oh, well, we don't have any funding. We ran out of funding. Or you don't qualify. Right. Or you don't this or you don't that. I'm like, so what do you're just literally trying to say, you know, you can't work anymore.
I can't work and you're not going to help me out.
No, not at all.
Yeah. That's pretty bad, man. So the COVID thing, it was March of 2020 when it all started.
Yep.
Do you remember when you had to shut your doors?
It was like March 13th, I want to say. That number sticks in my head.
So it was early March.
It was like, mid.
How long were you down?
5 months. Until
5 months.
Until that, let's see.
That's July or August.
It was August. I think mid-July, early August, when we were allowed to open back up at 50% or whatever it was. But so a lot of people like assumed we were the same as hairstylists and barbers and stuff. And so did I, because it's very, you know, personal service, nail technicians, whole nine, you know what I mean? Personal service industry. I'm reading all these guidelines and shit, and they're putting these stuff out like, oh, these people can open up, these people can open up at 50%. And I'm like, okay, well, where does tattooers fall in? So to the point where it wasn't even clear, I had to call the state's office and, like, ask them, hey, when am I allowed to open my business? And they're like, oh, well, you're not ready yet. And I'm like, hold on. Like, I'm ready. Yeah. Y'all aren't ready. You know what I mean? You're not ready. I'm ready. Yeah, I got to work. Exactly, yeah. I mean, I got a, you know, livelihood to make. But, dude, it was a while, man. Like, it was, and to be honest with you, like June, July, like, me and Gavin would call each other and be like, dude, like, when are we allowed to open up? Yeah. Like, this shit sucks. It does suck, man. I mean, so we were very fortunate.
I guess we were considered the essential, like, truck drivers, tree remove, like, you know, an essential service. Mm-hmm. So I never had to shut down. And, like, to be honest, I wasn't impacted by the whole thing very much.
Which is awesome.
Which is great. I mean, very fortunate for that. Count our blessings every day. But, I mean, I lost people, and I had guys that were worried about the whole or the COVID thing, and they had kids that weren't going to school. Like, it was still a struggle.
Yeah.
But I wasn't told I can't physically go to work every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's got to be tough, man. And then just the unknown of, like,
that was the worst part.
Right.
Like, that's what I tell about everybody all the time. It's like not knowing. Like, okay, let's just say, you know, they shut you down and you know the end. Right, you can reopen in September.
Yeah, you can start making appointments and setting the work up and getting ready.
Well, not only did I have to, because I stay booked 2 months out, not only did I have to reschedule 2 months worth of appointments or tell them, hey, look, man, like, I took a deposit for your tattoo. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do this tattoo.
Right.
Like, it puts you in a messed up spot. So, like, I was contacting my clients, like, hey, look, I'll send you your deposit back. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. Yeah. And then
and people got to understand.
Oh, dude, everybody was
everybody got it.
Like, I totally get it. You know what I mean? Nobody asked for the deposit back. They're like, no, just hold on to it.
Yeah.
You know, just keep it accounted for, blah, blah, blah. And that's what we did. You know what I mean? We came up with a couple different cool ideas throughout COVID, you know, to bring in a couple of dollars here and there. Like, we offered, like, you know, custom drawings and stuff like that we could do from home, right? But, you know, as far as, you know, everything else goes, it was just a struggle to not know when we were able to. And then it was just like, bam, you can open. Mm-hmm. So once we put that out there, you know, I mean, everything flooded. Like, email, I mean, everybody was getting all this money from unemployment and all this other crazy shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, stimulus checks.
Oh, man, big money. And
it was funny. One of my tattoo sessions with you, I remember you saying, I can't remember the number. Everybody got like $1,200 or $1,400.
Yeah.
And you were like, Gene, everybody got $1,400. A lot of people ain't never had $1,400. Guess what they do with it? Get a tattoo.
Goddamn right.
The type of people that ain't never had $1,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
When they do get it,
they're getting a tattoo.
They're getting a tattoo.
There's a couple things they get, and I tell people this all the time. They getting tattoos. They're upgrading shit on their car.
Yeah, getting rims.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. Or, you know, whatever else, you know what I mean? But in that line, you know what I mean? I got people hit me up, oh, I'm ready for a sleeve. I'm like, hold on, buddy. Hold on. You got $1,000. Relax. Right. You know, that's only going to get you so far. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, don't make a commitment to a financial decision. And, like, dude, I try to pass that on to the young kids, man, because it's like, I remember coming up, like, there wasn't many people in the community that passed that on to me. Like, when I was 18, dude, I had no idea about credit. You know what I mean? I didn't give a shit about that. Like, I got a credit card in the mail when I was 18 years old. It's like for like $3,000. I'm like, you talking about free money? Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course I got to pay it back. I pay it back when I can. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Just bang, 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 bang. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, you got shit credit. And like, I try to tell these young kids, man, it's like, look, don't sign up for a commitment that you're not really willing to do. Like, same thing with a tattoo. Don't say like, let's design a sleeve. Okay, you got $1,000, right? That's a day sitting with me, a full day sitting, 8 hours. So you get $1,000 sitting. We get the outline done. That $1,000 is gone.
Yeah.
Are you ever going to be able to get it finished?
What are you going to do now?
When are you going to get it finished?
Right.
You know, you might come back 5 years from now. I got a 5-year-old outline, and you want me to shade over that. Like, nah, I got to redo the outline so that it all makes sense.
Yeah, man. Now, the whole COVID thing was everything still is kind of up in the air, man, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say that not everybody's confident with the way that the economy's going right now.
No.
Like, everybody's kind of like, you know, the whole COVID thing and the vaccination thing is still like a conversation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Going into this winter, I mean, they're talking about the vaccine mandates, and then the whole, if COVID spikes back up, there might be another shutdown or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not promising.
No.
So for an industry like yours, where you guys were meant to shut down the first time, I mean, it could happen again.
And that's the thing. Like, not many people in our industry can survive another shutdown.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You can't.
No. I mean, you're telling me, okay, you can work a year, then take a half a year off. Work a year, take a half a year off. Like that's not even.
It's not feasible.
Not at all. Like it's not even logical for anybody.
No.
So, dude, it's gonna get hairy here. You know what I mean with that. Like, you're gonna push people to the point where they're like, "Look, man, I gotta survive." I mean, I just can't just shut down.
Well, to be honest with you, I think one of my first sessions for my sleeve with you was during the early stages of when you were just now starting to start tattooing friends and local people that you trusted.
Yeah,
I don't think your door said open. Mm-mm. You were just like, hey man, yeah, Gene, I'll tattoo you, but I'm not open I'm not advertising that I'm open.
Oh yeah.
So that was a thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
because
I mean, do what you had to do.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And I completely. I disagreed with the whole shutdown to begin with. So I was like, yeah, dude, sure. I'm here to help. You know, if you're willing to provide a service, I'm here to be a paying customer.
I mean, of course, even to this day, right? We still try to be a little precautionary on make sure nobody's coming in there sick. But we were like that before,
right?
Like a lot of people are talk about the tattoo industry. It's like, dude, I'm more sterile than half you motherfuckers that work every goddamn day.
Right.
Because I have to be every day before COVID ever started. Right. First off. Second off, when you come in and get tattooed, I tell people straight up, look, man, if you're not feeling right, don't come in. I got kids.
Yeah. I got to be 8 inches from your face.
100%.
If you're sick, don't come to my shop.
Don't come in. Right. Don't come in. That's simple. It's always been like that. Before there was COVID or anything like that, there's always been like that. Or if I wasn't feeling well, I'd reschedule. You know what I mean? Just common courtesy because, just the flu in general can wipe out people that, especially older people with, immune deficiencies or whatever, you know what I mean? It's just common courtesy, dude. I think that's one of the biggest problems in the world nowadays is that, common courtesy.
Just common sense.
Well, of course, but common is the key word, right? Because there ain't nothing common anymore.
No, I agree, man. It's, it was wild, man. I remember that conversation because I had, pre-COVID, I had it in my mind. I wanted to set up a line of appointments with you for the sleeve that I had done.
Yeah.
And then I remember COVID hit, and I was like, well, shit, that got pushed back a little bit. Yeah. And then you reached out to me. You're like, hey, Gene, we're not technically open, but I'm going to start doing some shit, that I can do that with people that I trust. And I was like, okay, cool, let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
And I respect that 100%, dude. I mean, you have to.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have a choice. When you get backed in that corner, it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
You got when you wake up in the morning, and most people can relate to this, right? When you wake up in the morning, you got, wife at home, 2 kids looking in the face. How are we going to survive?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong. And the government's telling you can't go to work today.
Right. Hey, don't get me wrong. My wife works. She does well for herself, makes her own money, whole nine. But at the same time, I'm supposed to provide too. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to be the breadwinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Most households are dual incomes. You got to be.
You got to be nowadays.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I'm not pulling my weight, you know what I mean? We got sacrifice here and there. And you get pushed in that corner, it's like, dude, you got to come back. You got to do what you got to do. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? From here on out, I mean, look, man, I got kids I got to support. I got a wife to support. You know what I mean? And it's a team there. And I got to hold my end of the deal,
Yep.
So,
and I don't think it's the government's responsibility to tell you that you can or can't do that.
Nah.
I mean, not at all.
Nah, I totally agree, man. I mean, it comes down to the, what you're for and what you're not for. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's supposed to be America. It's supposed to be a free country. It's supposed to be all this and all that. Right?
100%, man. It's scary, man. And I think it's the whole power grab, Once they get a taste of what they can and can't regulate like that, they'll never let that go.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I think people are so discouraged about the way that everything's going right now.
Yeah.
Nobody has a whole lot of faith it's going to get better anytime soon.
No, because it's one thing leading to the other.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, they start with this, and then they go to this.
Like the vaccine mandates now.
Oh, yeah.
So 100%. What if they started telling you can't tattoo certain people because they don't have the vaccine?
Man, I can't do it, dude. This is my thing. This is my thing. Like we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. off camera, obviously, but I'm willing to say it on camera. I'm pro-choice, dude. Like, when it comes down to it, like, it's your choice. It's your body.
Right.
If you want to get the vaccine, great, dude. Get it. If that's what works for you, get it. You know what I mean? And
there's certain people that probably should get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a demographic out there that should probably, it's smart for you to go get that.
Absolutely.
100%. Like, I agree with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing for me. It's like, but don't be mad if somebody else doesn't want to get it. You know what I mean? If you don't want to get it, cool, don't get it. Like, what works for you? What works for your everyday life and your family and so on and so forth. Like, but if somebody does the opposite, I mean, don't bash them for it. No, 100%. Like, that's my thing. Like, dude, like, that's their choice.
Yeah.
You can't take somebody's choice away.
No, not at all, man. And I think that's where, honestly, I think the majority of the country's on that same page.
I would feel comfortable to say that. You know what I mean? It's
like you and I both interact with people all day, every day.
From all different walks of life.
All different walks of life.
Yeah.
Customer service to the T. Yeah. Like, that's what we do every day. Mm-hmm. And nobody argues that.
I mean, no.
So it's like there's like some sort of like special agenda being pushed that like, oh, you got to do this. And everybody says you got to do this or you're going to be outcast. Like, dude, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I'll totally agree. I've never come across somebody from any walk of life and the clientele that I have that's argued the fact that it should be your choice.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's just what it is. Like,
it's
your choice. It's your choice to drink Miller Lite or Michelob Ultra.
Right.
I just happen to be a Michelob Ultra man. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's just what it is. You
know?
No,
I don't care what you do at home.
Right.
At all.
It's your business, dude.
That's your business.
When you go home, you close that door and turn them lights off. That's on you. Right. That ain't on me. You know what I mean?
100%, man.
Yeah. I mean, people, man, I think that's the biggest thing right now is people are too, like, okay, what I think's right and what you think's wrong, and you're a bad person because you don't think the way I think. Like, nah, dude. Like, I just happen to have a different opinion.
We can still get along.
110%.
That's not an issue.
110%.
Right.
110%. Like, whether you choose to have the vaccine or not, that's your choice, dude. Right. And I'm not going to knock you for it either way.
Nope.
You know what I mean? If it's contradictory to what I believe, then I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a piece of shit, or why would you do that, or you're dumb, or okay.
Right.
Great.
Let's move on. We're on the same page with that, man. And I think a lot of people are on the same page.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I think there's some big bullshit being pushed down everybody's throats right now.
Oh, yeah. I think more people are on the same page than not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you can't really pull the political thing into it because I think everybody has that understanding.
Yep.
That, it is what it is.
Yeah. And I've said this as soon as COVID started, right? So I'm very involved and I'm out there every day in the community, right? I meet with people, talk to people, follow up with estimates and invoices. Like I interact with people. Like I'm customer service all day, 100%. Whether it's customers or employees or whatever.
Right.
And nobody's really arguing anything. Nobody's upset about anything.
No.
Nobody's really like deathly ill.
No.
Like I feel like if some shit was going on where it's like 60% of the population was dying, I'd be like, yeah, something might be a little fucked up here. Yeah, something's bad, maybe, like something's going on.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta do something.
There's an issue.
Yeah.
It ain't like that.
No, and
people are just kind of sitting back like, damn, man, like maybe I should be worried about it. Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, man, what's going on?
And my thing is this, like, of course everybody knows somebody that it can affect people, in a bad way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, like death, life or death situation. But,
right.
When you're out in the community and you come across a lot of people from, like we said before, all different walks of life, and you see the overall isn't as bad as what you watch. It's like you see on social media or you see
right.
on the news or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not saying this thing can't kill you.
No.
You know what I mean? It definitely can in the certain circumstances, but at the same time, it's like, dude, like, at the end of the day, it's like, I don't see a lot of the things
right.
that I see on the internet.
No.
And this is just me being, factual at this point, because
just being a normal person,
just being observant.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not a smart man, but I will tell you one thing: like
right.
I'm very observant. You know what I mean? And it's like,
it's like what I'm being told and what I'm seeing. isn't adding up. You know, like it doesn't like what I'm being told through the phone or through the television isn't actually showing what's going on in my community. Don't get me wrong.
I've seen people that it's affected them in a bad way. You know, as far as like a life or death situation. You know what I mean?
People have gotten sick. I'm not denying that.
110%. But there's been more people that aren't to the fact that they need to go to the hospital and they need the ventilator and they need all this other things than there aren't.
Yeah, like
that I've seen,
like 99-1.
Hey,
like the numbers are out there, dude. It's like
I mean, I'm not here to push you one way or the other. I'm just here to tell you, hey, what I've seen personally.
I would roll those dice.
110%.
Right.
Every time. I'm 32 years old, dude. You know what I mean? Like, hey, it is what it is. If I'm just the type of person that if that's meant to take me out, I'm gonna take me out.
Yeah. Let it. Yeah. That's
right.
I'm not gonna live in fear, buddy.
I'm just a different. I can't, man. I can't because at the end of the day, it's like. When you die and you look back on your life, and let's just say you get that moment because we don't know what happens when we die, right? But let's just say you get that moment to look back on your life, and you look back on the last 10, 15, 20, however long years that COVID's a serious thing, and you look back on all the opportunities you missed, right? All the opportunities you got to go see, let's just say your grandparents, right? Say your grandparents are alive and well and all that good stuff, and you didn't go over there because of a flu-like virus. You know what I mean? You said you wanted to be responsible, and that's great. You know what I mean? That's your choice. Right. But when you look back on that, like, how do you really feel? You know what I mean? Do you regret that?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I would. Yeah. Personally. It's like, dude, like, I didn't get to spend that time with them because I chose not to, thinking that it was the better plan, but...
Right, just because you were being cautious.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, 100%. Which is like, it seems responsible, but at the same time, it's probably not, in my opinion, probably not the right decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's crazy. But for industries like yours, I can see where it has impacted you, and I can see the uncertainty moving forward. So I'm just hoping that it all goes away before it comes down to that again. Yeah. Because just as a community, and businesses like yours and other, like, bakeries or coffee shops or whatever, that it's like, dude, you can't just shut people down. No. You can't let people not work. It's bullshit.
No. And the thing about it is that this is my thing. When it comes to that, if the business owner chooses not to open because of it, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's great. You know what I mean? Because you're making that choice based on what's going on in your life.
Personal decisions.
110%.
Right.
Like, you can't take those away from people.
Right.
You know what I mean? No matter what side of the line you fall on or your beliefs on, you can't take that from somebody because at the end of the day, then you won't have any beliefs.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you're being told what to believe.
Got to stand for something, buddy.
Got to stand for something or fall for anything.
That's right, man.
That's what they say.
But we'll leave it at that, buddy.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks again, dude. Appreciate you coming out, man. I think it's been a good talk.
Yeah.
I think you kind of got a point, like, got across your industry and your business and kind of what you guys are doing, and I think it's a solid business structure in the community, man. So hopefully people look you up and book an appointment next time they're thinking about it.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I appreciate you having me, dude. It's been fun, man.
All right, bro.
Definitely we'll get together again soon.
Yeah, man. Well, I got an appointment in a couple of weeks, so
all right, cool. We'll continue it. We'll just leave the camera stuff behind, right?
That's right. Yep. I'll see you, buddy.
All right, brother.